you very much to accept my interview today.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I learned a new word from you
Yeah, what
called
was that?
10-pound poms.
Huh?
10-pound poms.
Oh, 10-pound pom. Yeah,
10 pound poms. What that mean?
Well, that's the slang expression for a special deal they made for migrants from Britain to entice them to come to Australia. And they could travel for 6 weeks on this ship. Is that coming up okay in the camera?
Yes.
Good, okay. The Orion, and it only cost £10, which was $20 in those days.
So which year was that?
That was 1961.
1961.
Yeah, and I think about maybe 1 million people took advantage of the offer. I'm not sure. A lot of migrants came from Britain and other places in those times.
Yeah, it's like it's called assisted passage migration scheme.
Yeah, that's right. But people just called us 10-pound poms. Even though, strictly speaking, despite my trace of a London accent, because that's where I was born, my parents are Irish, so I'm kind of genetically Irish rather than British, because the Republic of Ireland is, of course, not part of Britain. But we lived in London at the time and took advantage of the offer, and here we are. It was the best thing my parents ever did, really. Come to Australia. Yes, definitely.
So what's the condition in London at that time?
Well, when I was born in 1954, London was still a bit bombed out. There were still craters left over from the German attacks in World War II, the air raids and so on. But as a child, I remember it quite fondly. I didn't really play in with unexploded bombs or in bomb craters or anything like that. And it was nice. It was nice, London. I think first we lived in Shepherd's Bush, which is where Michael Caine came from, I think. And then, I can't remember. We lived in a couple of different places in London. London is an awfully big city. Too big. In my opinion.
I heard there's like the Great Smoke in 1952 and killed thousands of people.
Yes. By the time I was born, that was over and done with, because they had banned burning coal to keep people warm. I think they might have switched to gas, put the gas on, but they used a particularly dirty form of coal, and that caused the smog. And it was very serious in London. Just a few years before I was born. Really third world stuff. It's, like some places, maybe like Delhi are today, But that's how London was 70 years ago.
So is the pollution one of the reasons your parents decide to leave? I
don't really know. My mum saw the ad in the newspaper. It said for £10 you can emigrate to Australia. And my father came home from work and Mum showed him the ad and he said, okay, do it. And,
that's easy. That easy.
And then 2 weeks later, Mum flashed the tickets. She said, okay, let's go. Very spontaneous of them.
6 weeks of journey, just decided by 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it might be because my parents were born in the west of Ireland, so very rural, not urban at all, the countryside and farms and all that sort of thing. And it might have been a bit of a shock living in central London. And then when we came to Australia, we first moved into the upper Mount Gravatt, Rochdale area, which is over there somewhere, I think, maybe, which is in the green belt. So there was our house and eucalyptus forest. We couldn't even see any neighbours.
All right.
So it was like living in the country, but it's a Brisbane suburb.
All right. I read the scheme the Australian government offered at that time.
Yeah.
They promised affordable housing, promised employment opportunities and better lifestyle.
Oh, okay.
Did your parents get that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. They didn't provide housing, but it was affordable here. First of all, we stayed in the migrant hostel at Wacol. That's a former military barracks in World War II. I can remember that. And then my father bought the house. I think it cost £6,000 because we didn't have dollars in those days. 6,000 Australian dollars for a house on 3 acres of land in Upper Mount Gravatt. And his first job was shoveling coal at the brickworks, feeding the furnaces.
Yep.
And for somebody coming from London to Brisbane's summer, which is often 35 degrees if you're lucky, and standing next to a furnace feeding coal, for a living, he used to joke and say, you don't have to tell me about hell, I've already been there, because it was incredibly hot.
All right. So what did he do in London before he came to Australia?
He was a foreman on for a bunch of builders, I think.
Yeah.
I was kind of unsure about that. I think that's what he did, but I was like 6 when we left, so I didn't really take an interest in that.
Yeah.
But so my father worked at the brickworks for a while, doing that hellish job, and then he and somebody else set up the first swimming pool building company in Queensland.
Oh.
And that's what he did for the rest of his life. So he's reasonably successful. We never became millionaires or anything like that. But
it's comfortable.
Sorry?
But comfortable.
Oh, yeah. And he built pools all over Queensland. He'd often travel all over Queensland building pools for people.
So from funnel to the pool is from hell to heaven.
Yes. So we had our own swimming pool when we eventually moved to Indooroopilly. Nice house in Indooroopilly, and we put a pool in there, of course, because it's part demonstration, and also it's just nice to have.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm really interested in your journey, the big journey on the ocean.
Yeah, well, that was really quite a thrill for me as a 6-year-old. I had my 7th birthday on board, and it was such a fabulous adventure.
Were you excited to see such a big ship?
Yeah. And you could go exploring it all day, and just have great memories of it. And we left Tilbury Docks, I think it's called, in the Thames River in London, and our first stop was Athens. So we got out and checked out the Acropolis there, the old temples and things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, it's not a cruise ship, right? It was purely for transporting migrants.
Like a passenger's ship.
But in some senses, it was like a cruise ship because we got to visit places, exotic places like that. And they picked up a lot of Greeks in Athens who were going to Melbourne, and they eventually dropped them all off in Melbourne.
Yeah. I heard the Greek are the major migrant sources.
Yeah.
Back then.
I'm sure it's probably 90s, about 60s, at least half 70s, Greek.
Yeah.
And the ship, I think when we came out, it took about 1,000 passengers. It had a huge crew too, something like 600 crew members.
I did some research. The capacity is up to 1,691 passengers.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. And the crew is around 400 something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's, for me, it's like a Titanic.
I've
never been on such a big ship
I don't know how it compares with the Titanic. I mean, it couldn't have been physically as big, but it was a later ship, and it was very, very efficiently designed. They were very proud of the radical new design of the ship. Like it only had one funnel because that's all it needed. It was so efficient, you know. It's a beautiful ship. And it's kind of a beige, like this colour here.
Yeah.
That's the colour it was painted.
Yeah, I checked it up. It has served in the World War II as well.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And
It
got
transported
hit.
troops. Oh yeah. Or it rammed a military boat, or the other way around.
A military boat. Yeah, they hit each other and damage a little bit, and then So this ship was retired in 1963. So 2 years after you took the journey.
Yeah.
So
and then it was scrapped eventually.
Yeah.
If you want to see this, just as you get into South Bank, if you go along the cycle path, there's a maritime museum, and they've got a model of this, which is as long as this table, a big model of the Orion. They used to. I don't know if it's still there.
Yeah, at that time, that ship is quite modern.
Yes.
Yeah, because it has the open air layout, has the big decks, and even they have the removable and the folding walls, sliding glass doors.
Yeah, I think that's to maximise breezes when you're crossing the equator and keep the ship nice and cool. It was a whole new idea for a big ocean liner like that.
Yeah, the European don't need this kind of ship. This is this was designed by New Zealand guy,
right.
I think so.
Had some great ideas.
Yeah. It's good for the tropical climate.
Yeah, I'll tell you the route. So we went to Athens, then we came to Cairo and stopped there and had a look around, and then we went down through the Suez Canal, which there had been a crisis at the Suez Canal just a few years before, but it had opened up again. So we went through the Suez Canal, and then we went down to Aden in Yemen, which was a British protectorate. Aden was, and in those days that was the second biggest port in the world after New York City.
Oh, wow.
And then from Aden we went to Colombo.
Where is that?
Ceylon, or Sri Lanka, as it's called now.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went to Colombo, and then sailed all the way to Fremantle.
No Papua New Guinea?
No.
Indonesia? No?
No, they're out of the way. So we came down
that way.
Down the west side of Australia.
Yeah.
And to Fremantle, and then Melbourne, where I guess all the Greeks got off because they probably already had relatives there.
Yeah.
And then it went to Sydney, and that's where we got off, and then we travelled up to Brisbane. And then the ship continued to New Zealand, which was really the end of its route. It took a lot of people to New Zealand. And then it went back, I think it went back the same way, because they're probably all fueling stops.
And for the 6 weeks journey, were you got seasick or anything? Or what did you do on the ship?
I don't know, just went exploring, made friends, you know. I can't remember, but I don't think I ever got bored. There was, when you cross the equator, there's this tradition that the sailors, one of them pretends to be King Neptune, and they have a big party, and they gave out cake and stuff like that, mostly for the kids. So, I don't know, it was a good time. I can't recall any downside to it at all.
Yeah. So you were 6 years old.
And then I had my 7th birthday on board the ship.
Yeah. You wasn't too attached to London and your London little friends. Did you cry?
No, my parents did, because they knew that they weren't going to. Well, they probably thought they weren't going to see their relatives ever again. Because it's such a long way. But of course, they've all been back. We've all been back many, many times.
Yeah.
By aeroplane, of course. But for me, you don't think about things like that. Just a new adventure.
Yeah. Do you have any impression of like Athens, all the stops you had?
Well, yes, I think I can remember seeing the Parthenon in Athens.
Yeah.
And I think I can remember street scenes in Cairo.
Yep.
I can't remember Colombo or Fremantle at all. Maybe we didn't get off out there. But I'm not really sure if they're legitimate memories or just things I've seen in movies. But it seems real to me. Maybe they are memories.
Yeah, I also read the Australian government had this scheme, the assisted passage migration scheme.
Yeah.
And because they said populate or perish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they just think if Australians don't have more people, you'll be in danger.
Oh, righty,
Yeah. That's why they try to attract, mostly, they at that time they have the white Australian policy as well. So they attract mostly from England or other countries in Europe.
Well, I know that the White Australia policy gets a lot of criticism because people think it's purely based in racism these days. That's how it's often sold. I don't know, but I've read another account of it. It's actually Chinese people in Sydney were importing Chinese people who couldn't speak English and enslaving them, paying them less than the basic wage. And these people couldn't go to the authorities because they couldn't speak English. And so when the Australian government found out about that, they said, from now on, you must be able to speak English before you came to Australia. And that was the basis for the so-called White Australia policy. You had to be an English speaker, and it's because your people.
Gold rush. They came for the gold.
Oh the Chinese had a big part to play in the gold rush. But this was later, and I think it was in Sydney. That's what I've read. I don't know if that's true. But
I read it. I read about it. In Ballarat area, they found the gold, and everybody came to dig the gold. To try to get the gold. And most of Chinese came from Canton. Cantonese people came, and I think at that
was
time,
1851.
Around that time, they have 40,000. Chinese people in Australia.
I think a lot might have already been to the gold rush in the United States, which was now on the wane. And then amazing how global people were then. They kind of searched the world. Australia, there's gold in Australia. So and in those days, 1851, it was pretty wild. Pretty wild. You could do what you wanted.
Yeah. That's history anyway.
Let me think. That's before Queensland was established as a separate state, I think. And if there was Brisbane, if Brisbane existed then, it was a tiny little town. And I've seen some drawings of Brisbane in its very early days, and it was like courthouse, prison, barracks. It was little more than that.
Could you tell me about your childhood growing up in Brisbane? Brisbane is very much different from it is nowadays.
Well, that house, I think that house was made out of fibro that my father bought for £6,000. That's full of asbestos. And but we were on 3 acres, and a few years ago I drove past it to see what it was like, and the house is still there, but it's in really bad condition. But on the middle of the 3 acres is a multi-millionaire's mansion, where we just had a field, and there's a huge house there now that makes the 3 acres look small. Just makes it look like a little yard around the house. Huge house. And apparently a lot of millionaires live in that
Fig Tree Pocket area?
No, it's not Fig Tree Pocket. It's Upper Mangrove.
Upper Mangrove.
A lot of people live in our old street who are very, very wealthy now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't have sold that one, right?
Yeah.
3
We were
acres.
never to know.
$6,000.
Pounds.
Pounds. At that time, we don't have Australian dollars yet.
That's right.
Everyone still uses the pounds.
Yeah. 1966 was when Australia adopted dollars and cents.
So, how's your school life at that time?
Well, my parents, being Irish, were devout Catholics.
Yeah.
And so I went to St Agnes's Convent, which is just down Logan Road. You drive past it anytime you go down Logan Road. They're still there. Where I had nuns for teachers, and that was for grade 3 and 4. And then I went to Villanova College for 1 year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did Henry go there?
No.
Oh, okay. But I didn't like it much.
Yeah, they are very strict, I heard.
Yeah, there was one teacher who was really mean. I forgot to dot an I in one class, copybook class.
Yeah.
And I got 6, the cane. 6 of the best across my fingertips of the
6
cane.
cane. They still use a cane.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
For forgetting to dot the I. And that taught me to not trust authority for the rest of my life.
Were you bleeding after this?
No.
No?
No, I wasn't bleeding, but it
Achy
hurt.
for a week.
But I also swore, if he does that to me again, I'm going to beat him up. But I was about 10 or 11, so I probably wouldn't been able to, but I would have tried.
Oh, nice.
But because that's just really severe cruelty. That's just nasty.
Yeah.
Nastiness.
Yeah. I heard about some bad things of the Catholic school back at that time, but now it's different.
Well, most of the schools I went to were Catholic schools, and it was just that one teacher, really. And he wasn't a brother, he was a layman, just a regular teacher.
Oh, okay.
Didn't dress like a monk. But his name was Gall, Mr. Gall, and I still hate him. He was mean. He was just so mean. But I only went there for 1 year, and then I went to Clairvaux College, Mount Gravatt, until grade 8. And then my parents moved to Indooroopilly, and I went to Indooroopilly High for 9 and 10, and Corinda High for 11 and 12.
All good schools, basically.
Yeah, I think Indooroopilly High's got a bit of a reputation for being a bit rough.
Just ruined by one teacher. Villanova is still a good school today. Yeah.
But I was 7, and it doesn't take much to amuse you. I used to. We had a little lake on our land, and I could go swimming in there, which is really nice in the hot summertime. And I'd have friends come over, and I used to go barefoot all the time. I could run through the bush for hours completely barefoot. I couldn't do that now.
You instantly became Australian.
Barefoot
and
my best friend taught me how to catch and kill snakes, like red belly black snakes and brown snakes, which you get out around there. And they're 2 of the deadliest snakes in the world, most venomous snakes in the world.
So you live among them?
Yeah, you see them because there's lots of grass and lots of trees and things, and you'd see one and you'd see its tail, and you go grab the tail and pick it up like that, shake it so it can't bite you. We're talking about kids this tall doing this, and then swing it around by the tail and bash its brains out against a tree trunk. That's one way to kill snakes.
So you cannot do it now, like
my reflexes would be too slow. I just get bitten now.
No, it's not legal to do it like this.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's not allowed. But I mean, if you've got a poisonous snake in your vicinity, I'm not going to dob you into the environmental people for killing it. I mean, they kill your pets,
Yeah, if you cannot do your trick when you encounter with a deadly snake, what can you do nowadays? How to protect yourself? If you see a brown snake.
The snakes aren't really very aggressive. They'll just sneak away. They can't eat a human being. And they won't even bother attacking us. They'll only attack you if you step on them, But what you can do, another thing which is safer, is get a stout stick, and if that's the snake and that's its head, put the stick down right behind its head, see? Then you can pick it up by the neck close to its head and hold it that way, and its head's there. And its body's wriggling down there, and you can hold it quite safely like that. Then you've got to get rid of it somehow, but that's one way you can pick up a snake.
How many brown snakes have you ever caught in your life?
I don't know. Probably only 5 or 6.
Oh my god! It's hard to imagine.
Yeah, when I was like 10 or 12.
So other things?
Maybe even younger.
You have to deal with other dangerous animals as well, like crocodiles, like poisonous spiders, and then...
Oh, well, I've seen a few redback spiders and things, but they're not really a threat. You'd have to be stupid to get bitten by one of those. There's no crocodiles around here. There's people overseas get the idea that Australia is full of deadly animals, but it's not really. I mean, sharks, sure, but you have to go swimming where there's sharks. Crocodiles, but you'd have to be up in North Queensland. And snakes, there's snakes, but they're not really aggressive. They'll run away and they'll slither away and hide.
They're full of social media videos.
Yeah, I know. People
like posting snakes in your roof and in your
giant
window.
Wolf spiders or huntsman spiders. But they don't have a deadly bite. I think I've heard it's painful, but but they sure look creepy. Big huntsman, wolf spider. They look very scary, but they're pretty harmless. Yeah.
So normally the snakes that live nearby the residential areas, they are not deadly.
Well, I've never seen a snake in this neighbourhood at all.
No, we're close to the city.
Yeah, though I think if you went down Moorhen Flats and had a look around, you'd find some snakes. And they'd be the same ones you get at Mount Gravatt, only a few kilometres away. And apparently Queensland has the 10 most venomous snakes in the world. So they are here and they do exist, but you'd have to be clumsy to get bitten. I read that most people who get bitten by snakes fall into a particular category. They're young men and they're drunk. They've been drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
And so what's happened is they've seen a snake and they go, "Hey, watch this." And they go and they get bitten.
That's silly. That's suicide.
Yeah. That's how you get bitten by a snake. Drunk and stupid.
Yeah. And also, Reg, at that time, the migration policy is really, really friendly.
Yeah.
For the 10-pound Poms, you only need to stay here for 1 year before you get citizenship.
Well, it wasn't actually citizenship.
Yeah.
It was permanent residency.
Yeah.
But permanent residency gave us all the rights of a citizen. We could even vote.
Okay.
And I became a citizen much later on.
Yeah.
But the only reason I didn't bother was because permanent residency was exactly the same thing. Same with my parents.
Yeah.
They took out their citizenship after living here for a couple of decades, but they always voted in elections and things like that.
Yeah. So when you arrive, you're a permanent resident already, right?
Well,
you don't have to wait
I
to
don't
be a
know.
permanent
Maybe
resident.
that's. I was 7. What do I know about things
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that? But I think what you mean is that after a year,
you can apply.
You would be a permanent resident, perhaps.
No, the wiki told me after 1 year, before 1973, so you could apply for the Australian citizen.
Oh, well, maybe that's what it was. You could apply.
Yeah,
It didn't make you
1 year
one
residence.
automatically.
Yeah. You have to apply anyway.
But I didn't become a citizen until after I'd gone back to England and Ireland. And when I got back, I thought, I'm an Australian. I want Australian citizenship.
Yeah.
I'm not English, you know,
Yeah.
because I've also got a British passport.
Yeah. They said some people among the 10-pound ponds, they have the boomerang ponds. They, like a quarter of them going back.
Really?
Yeah. They have to stay here for 2 years to
Yeah.
have that subsidy scheme. Otherwise, you have to pay back the ticket. The ticket was £120.
Oh, okay.
And then the government subsidized and give sell it like £10.
Oh.
And then you have to stay in Australia for 2 years.
Yeah.
If you return within that 2 years, then you have to pay back that money to the government. And 1 million people come to Australia with this scheme, and then 1/4 of them going back within that 2 years. And then among those 1/4, half of them come back to Australia later, and then they call this boomerang.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard about those.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that a quarter didn't like it here, but maybe, you know, they just landed in the wrong place, or, you know, and they just didn't like the environment or something. I don't know. Don't know what they were expecting. Oh, I'll tell you a funny story. Once I went back, when was it, 1988, I went backpacking around the world for a year, but by the time I got to London, I was broke. I had $100 left. So I had to work for 6 months, and I worked with some London people, and there was one guy, he'd had an argument with his father and the rest of his family, and they eventually all emigrated to Australia without telling him.
Oh.
And they left him in London, and they all went to Australia. So there was a lot of animosity there, a lot of conflict in that family. But I thought that was kind of funny. They left him behind. And he was, you know, an adult, you know, he's in his 30s or something, but his parents and all his siblings, they'd all gone to Australia and left him behind.
Wow, that's a big, like I left home, I say goodbye, and then you cannot come to visit me if you don't take like a 6-week ship trip. So that's a big goodbye. Yeah, wow, that's very interesting. So you told me a few times, you said, oh, that's the best solution, best decision your parents ever made.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that you migrated to Australia. Why is that?
Oh, well, you know, Brisbane is a really beautiful city. I've done a lot of travelling since then, and I think it's really quite a special place. Frankly, I think it's getting a bit too big. It's got over 2 million people now, but I guess that's because it's so successful, you know. But it's a really nice place. I can't think of anywhere else I'd rather live. You know, I've been to places like Stockholm and Copenhagen and stayed for a few weeks, and you know, New Jersey and London, of course, and Dublin. And if I was going to live anywhere, it'd be Brisbane.
Why Brisbane is standing out?
In
what way?
Well, I love the climate here. Absolutely love the climate. It might be nice if it snowed a couple of times a year, but we're never going to see snow here. But I like the climate today. Here we are. It's late-ish autumn, getting on towards winter, and I actually feel a little bit hot wearing a singlet underneath my t-shirt. It's perfect.
So no winters.
Yeah, there's no winter in Brisbane.
Sunshine State.
Yeah.
So always have.
And also culturally, it's nice too. I think it's a fairly relaxed place. I don't know. It's a great place.
Yeah, people are friendly.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And take it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, relaxed.
Yeah, all those things are true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on where you live, but around here, I think it's much like that. Yeah.
Let's talk about something related to the new migrants or the international students.
Oh yeah.
So you lived with some of the international students before, right?
Oh, loads.
Loads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it really started in Sydney. I spent the 80s in Sydney, living in a flat in Bondi, and next door was a backpackers flat. So, but they're mostly European, sometimes South American or American, United States. But I used to do a lot of partying with them and had a lot of fun. But then I quit my job in Sydney and came back up here to go to university and set up a share household for fellow students. And so then I started sharing with more international students, not Europeans, but Southeast Asian, as far as India and Pakistan, of that whole area there.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of different nationalities and religions and so on. So yeah.
Will you share some interesting stories or culture differences and culture conflicts, and misunderstandings, things like that?
Well, conflicts were rare. I kicked out one Aussie guy because he was just such a drag.
Aussie guys, not international.
Yeah, I know. I'd still have Australian students, often Australian students. But there was one time I was sharing with a guy from Sri Lanka and a woman from Hong Kong. And she was very cheerful and used to laugh a lot and had a very loud laugh. And that used to really annoy the guy from Sri Lanka. And one day he gave me an ultimatum. He said, "You kick her out. I can't stand her laugh. Kick her out or I'm leaving." And I said,
so which side did you choose? So you chose Hong Kong.
Of course I want to live with someone who laughs rather than someone who complains.
Yeah.
Easy choice.
Yeah. I heard a story says one guy came to your to have a look at your room and then said, I will rent this then.
Oh yeah, the Pakistani guy.
Yeah. So they said, I will have how many people?
8. Yeah. He came and had a look at the room, and first of all, he didn't want to share in the phone bill. Because very few people had mobiles in the mid-90s, and he didn't want to pay half the phone rental or a third of the phone rental. And I said, look, if you use the phone, you're going to pay a third of the phone rental. And he said, well, I'll only be getting incoming calls. And I said, look, I don't care. If you're using the phone, you'll pay the phone rental. So he was very tight, a bit stingy. And then he looked around and he's sort of critical, and he looked at the room and he said, okay, I will take it. There are 8 of us.
So what's your reaction?
No, you're not moving in with another 7 people. You'd never get in the bathroom. There's one bathroom in the place.
So what's the tips to be a good tenants in the share house for international student in your eyes?
I don't know. I'm only familiar with the share houses I used to run, and it was always pretty casual, Like I drive everybody to the Asian markets in Sunnybank on a Saturday so they could do all their shopping, and I'd let them have friends over to stay on the weekend and have their own little dinner parties and things like that. And a lot of the Asian students were very grateful because some of them had been in homestays that had a lot of rules, you know, and I didn't have any rules. You know, I just trusted people to act mature, and they did.
So generally speaking, it's quite good experience.
Yeah.
To live in like off a share house with international students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you got to learn different cultures. And,
yeah, and you know they cook delicious food. You know, things like that.
Do you have any favorite cuisines?
Well, I do like Korean food a lot. You know, but I like Chinese food. All Asian food is wonderful. You know, Vietnamese, whatever. It's all great. It's all really healthy and tasty.
Yeah. And last but not least,
yes.
If any newcomers, like international students or new migrants from China, would like to settle in Brisbane,
yes,
what kind of advice would you give it to them?
Enjoy yourself. I don't know. What else can I say? Just have a good time.
Yeah.
And if you're studying or whatever, work hard. Study hard. Yeah.
Okay. So respect each other's culture and lifestyle and.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to fit in, really. Yeah. No problems.
Yeah,
that's an Australian expression that I really appreciated after I'd been working with Poms in London, who seemed to complain all the time.
Yeah, whinging, right?
Yeah,
Whinging.
bloody whinging Pommy bastards, as Australians like to sometimes call them. But they really did complain so much. These people I worked with, and then a friend of mine came over to London, and I think he was asking me for directions or something like that about how to get to a museum or something, and I told him, and he went, "Oh, no worries, mate." And I thought, "Gee, I've missed hearing that. No worries, you know, it's okay."
It's okay, even you had a fail or things doesn't go smoothly as you expected.
No worries,
okay.
no problem. It's they're easy going. That's the best of the Australian culture.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, doggies, what's going on?
You know it's finished.
Hello there, little Franklin.